Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Motorhead Garage is presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
You are locked on to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. If you've ever done any grinding, sanding, or cutting, you've no doubt heard of Dynabrade, and they've been at it for 50 years. They're known for their dual-action sanders and their orbital sanders, but that's not how the company got started, Matt. How did it all begin?
Actually, it began 50 years ago. Our owner back at that time saw an application that people were using hand files. Noticed that he can come up with a solution for that, developed a tool, came in and showed them how to use that tool, actually solved the problem from the hand filing to a machine, which increased their throughput, got the job done faster.
I'm glad you said it that way, because from what you've told me, you guys are all about solving problems. And why is that so big for you?
Yeah, what basically we are as application specialists, we go into your shop, take a look at what you're doing, ask you what is your biggest hiccup that you're having, something that's giving you a problem, and we take a look at our tools. We have over about 80, 90 tools in our vans, each of the guys. We take a look at the application, and more than likely we have a solution for it with the abrasive. Go in there, we train them on it, show them how to use it, make sure it's the right fit before they purchase it.
What are some of the reactions you get from folks when they've been doing something by hand for years and years and years, and you show them a new way to get it done right away?
I would say the biggest reaction is when their mouth drops and you get silent. They're loving a tool, they don't want to give the tool back because they actually saw the solution. The voice of the customer is the most important thing for us at Dynabrade.
What are some of the things that set Dynabrade apart from other tool manufacturers out there?
A lot of it is we're manufactured in the United States by the people that work at Dynabrade, making sure our tools meet the requirements and high tolerances, and our engineering staff listening to the customer and making sure they build the tool to what the customer is looking for.
And they're all craft made, all the tools?
Absolutely, handcrafted tools. Our people at our factory are actually hands on the tools, making sure those tools meet the specs that are designed for.
And hand testing everything, is that right?
Absolutely.
We're talking a ton of tools. How many tools are in the catalog, Dynabrade?
Just alone, we're looking at over 1,000 tools that are in the catalog.
Holy moly.
Yeah, it's a lot of tools, have knowledge about and take a look at how we can problem solve.
And what's the range of tools? What kind of tools are in there?
Everything you're looking at, from sanding, deburring, blending, polishing. We're basically the specialists in those type of areas.
I glanced at part of the catalog and I noticed it's not just the tools themselves, it's a lot of the ancillary stuff that goes with them.
Exactly. So part of it is you got to build a recipe for the end user. You got to make sure that they want to get the attained finish that they're looking for. Part of that recipe is the tool knowledge and the abrasive knowledge.
So let's talk about the tool we touched on, the thing that started it all, the Dynafile. How has this tool evolved through the years to what it's become now?
Part of it is, again, that hand sanding that they were doing by filing. They saw that maybe it's in a fixed position, and part of it is that tool you have to adjust based on what's going on to the substrate you're working on. We saw that there was an opportunity where we could actually adjust the head of the tool, and that's why we came out with other tools and other contact arms. You gotta remember, these tools are not just fixed with one contact arm. They have numerous contact arms based on what you're working on.
And what are some of the characteristics that vary among the contact arms?
Well, one of the biggest things that we come across is we can run an 1/8" belt on these tools, and that's just, it dumbfounds everybody out there. How can that small belt actually run on that tool? The way we design it, it actually stays on, can grind and remove a weld at 1/8" belt.
And we watched the belt actually contour with the pipe. How does that work?
So what I was doing on that weld is I want to try to remove the weld, blend it in, to kind of make it look like it's one piece. So I'm hitting the weld itself with the contact wheel right on top of it. And then I'm taking the slack portion of the belt and I'm actually using the curvature of the part to actually smooth it out, to make it blend it in, to make it look like it's one piece.
All right, we've got this car door here in the studio, and we've got a few rough spots, and show us how the Dynafile 2 works when it's in action here.
Great. We got actually a pretty big weld right here that I'm going to work on. I'm going to show you how I'm working on the tiplet of the tool.
All right, and that contact arm, what's the tip like on that?
So we have a tire on the front of it, which can run even down to a 1/4" belt, even an 1/8" belt can run on that tire. It's allowing me to get in those tight areas that you can't get with a regular die grinder.
And you've got just a simple edge here. You can also use that same contact arm for that as well.
Exactly. We're running the slack to deburr the edge.
I got you. We'll do a quick demo of that. And boy, that made quick work of that. It's as simple as that. The perfect finish begins and ends with Dynabraid. They've got over 1,000 tools. So if you don't know which one to use, look them up on their website or give them a call, and guys like this can help you out. We will return with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings right after this. We'll see you then.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. Borla, the world's most winning exhaust. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. And by Oil Undercoating, the official oil-based rust prevention system.
Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings keeps on trucking. And we're doing it with our friends from Brothers Trucks. Dave Welch, you are the expert on all this stuff. In a previous episode here, you came in and you changed the look of this 1971 truck dramatically. We see the vent window on the driver's side. On the passenger side, you cleaned it up with a one-piece kit. And you guys at Brothers Trucks, you cover 1947 through 87, and you have one-piece kits for all of them, right, including the one you brought with us here. Tell us about this kit.
Right, so here we're looking at the 47 to 50 kit. And what I like about this guy is that it comes with everything. It's an electric window crank that bolts into the original bolts. So there's no cutting and measuring and all this. Did I get it in the right spot? You bolt it into the original spot.
How important is it for you guys to make kits that fit the original holes and the original hardware and that sort of thing?
It's really the only thing we're working for, because we don't want to make your job any tougher. We want to make it as easy as possible. So that's why we do videos every single week. If you go to YouTube and you check out Brothers Trucks channel, you'll see us installing all of these kits. So we know they work, and we constantly modify them and update them so they're better and better and better.
Excellent. And what else comes in the kit here?
So you got your electrical, you got your switches in there. This is a channel that's going to go towards the front of the door where the vent window used to be. Again, here's your electric with a bolt straight in. These are channels that are going to go on the inside of the door. Now, to get these in the right spot, we've got this metal. I want to reiterate, metal, not piece of paper. And you'll see that it's labeled right side and left side, and it has the armrest holes, which a lot of times it wasn't drilled out at the factory. And what you do is you bolt this on to original holes that are already in the door, so you don't have to do any guessing. You'll notice that these holes right here line up with these for the channel that goes into the wheel right there. And now you don't have to worry about anything. You know you got it in the right spot and everything's going to be good to go. Another reason I like this is that it comes with the window channels at the bottom. Now, you wouldn't be able to use your old ones anyway. They'd more than likely be rusted out, and the kit has to have a longer one, but a lot of times these are rusted out, so it's nice these comes with it. It's going to come with your felts that are going to be longer for the absence of the vent window, and then you're going to have your window channel here that's going to go all the way around the door, and then you've got your window tape. This just goes on the bottom of the glass, and it helps secure it to the bottom channel right here. So installing this, you don't need any special tools or knowledge or anything like that. It comes with all the instructions. I'm sure we'll be doing a YouTube video on this really soon for you guys, so make sure you check us out on the YouTube channel, brotherstrucks.com. It's just an excellent kit, installs easy, no special tools. Takes you about an hour or two each side. Not a big deal.
What is it about classic trucks like this that people love so much, because they're so popular these days?
Well, I mean, you know, it's metal, man. So you're just not going to get the style like this out of any other car, and they're just tough.
But why replace the vent windows in the first place?
You got a couple of different reasons. It's a really good, sleek look, first of all. And the vent windows, they just get old and tired. The rubber on them gets old and tired. They're going to start leaking. They make a lot of whistling noises and things. Even after you rebuild them, a lot of times they're a source for the whistling, because you just have these little cracks that you just can't get a hold of. And so you get rid of all that, and then you're going to get a really good seal all the way around the door, because you don't have all those extra holes that can go. So let's say, for instance, you had your truck and you were thinking about rebuilding your vent window. Instead of spending the cost on that, just put that money into this, take care of all the noise, and seal everything up good and look cool at the same time.
Well, you can go check out the interwebs for brotherstrucks.com. You can get your truck back on the road and looking great. We'll return with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, so do not turn that dial.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. If you are into diesels like this one, then you've got to know the name S&S Diesel. They're known for their performance parts, the go-fast stuff, but really, Luke, the stuff that you guys specialize in, the bread and butter for you, is parts that'll make your truck get down the road to the racetrack or just your everyday driver. So you brought something here that is a big insurance policy for something that can go wrong in these Fords.
That's right. The 2011 to current Ford F-250s, 350s, anything with the 6.7 Power Stroke diesel in it, has the CP4 fuel pump, which has earned a pretty bad reputation for causing failures, and when it fails, it wipes out everything else around it. So the injectors, rails, tanks full of metal, it's a high dollar expense in a lot of downtime.
So give me a brief description of what this does to remedy that.
The actual bypass kit portion of it blocks the flow from the bottom end of the pump up into the injectors and rails. It changes the flow path through the system, and that way, if the pump does fail, it keeps it from contaminating the rest of the expensive fuel system. We also added, with the Gen 2 design, a return side filter that also protects the tank and the rest of your lines and everything else from that metal debris that pump generates when it does fail. So it makes it where your repair is much, much quicker, much less expensive, and get you back on the road much quicker.
And it's not just about Fords.
Yep.
The CP4 pumps are on other vehicles as well, and you guys take care of them too.
That's right. 2011 to 2016, anything with the Duramax, the LML platform, it also has a CP4 failure, which is also known for being the Achilles heel of that platform, unfortunately. So we have CP3 pump conversions for those, where in that platform, just based on the engine design, you can fit another pump design, the CP3, the previous generation, which is a very reliable, robust pump. So we've got conversion kits for that to get a better pump altogether and prevent any kind of failure.
A lot of what you guys do is an improvement on the stock parts. The LB7 engine is a really popular one out there. What do you guys do to improve the performance or improve the reliability of the original parts on that engine?
Sure. So the LB7 was the first generation of the Duramax engine. They were renowned for going through a lot of sets of injectors. So every 50 to 100,000 miles, it wasn't unheard of for guys to have to be replacing injectors. They'd start hazing and getting white smoke and running rough and stuff like that. So to remedy that issue, we designed and developed a better nozzle design to go on that LB7 injector platform. That's a stock replacement. It's not a performance adder, it's just a reliability improvement. So it goes to the sack type nozzle design, which is what every modern injector is now, and gets it where it's the last injector you'll ever have to buy for them.
Where can they find you guys on the web?
ssdiesel.com, SS Fueled, S&S Diesel Motorsport on Facebook, Instagram. You can go to our website, find a dealer locator, and get some parts headed your way.
If you've got a diesel engine, you need to check them out online. We have seen Tireject and how it's great at getting you out of trouble by the side of the road if you have a puncture. It will certainly rescue you, but more common, Brandon, we see folks getting a slow leak. Maybe your car's sitting for a week and you come there to drive it on Saturday morning and you've got a flat tire. How does that happen?
Yeah, we see that a lot with temperature changes, because what happens, the temperature drops overnight and the rubber contracts, and it'll expose little holes around the bead of your tire, and that's the seal between the rubber tire and the rim.
What are your options?
So typically, you gotta take it to the dealer. If the tire's flat, like what do you do? How do you get it there? And the dealer might try to use a wire brush to clean any debris off to try to get the tire to seal. But a lot of times, probably one of our most popular reviews for our automotive tire sealant is customers that are like, thank you for this product, because I've taken my car to the dealer several times and they're unable to seal the bead leak that they have, and they use our product and it seals it right away.
Amazing. How does it actually work?
So our tire sealant is made with a liquid rubber and a aramid fiber, and it's also really, really thin. So what will happen? It'll easily slosh up onto the sidewall and also get up into the bead area, and it will seal any kind of little micro holes, anything that's going on there. So you'll never have that moment where you wake up in the morning and see that you have a flat tire and can't go to work.
We see how it can repair tiny, tiny holes like that, but we've also seen Tireject and how it can repair big holes from punctures and things like that, as we touched on earlier. How big of a hole can it actually repair?
For automotive, we can do 1/4 of an inch, and yeah, the demo we did earlier, we did this, and this board was actually nailed to the tire,
yeah,
and we sealed it right up with no problem.
Yeah, and you can see right where we did it. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's really cool. What's it like to install Tireject?
So Tireject is really easy to install. It'll take you less than 5 minutes and anyone can do it. Our kit comes with everything you need. So it comes with the valve core removal tool to remove the valve core from inside the valve stem. And then there is a cap with a hose on it, and that hose slides right over to the valve stem, and you can squeeze the contents of the pouch straight into the tire. You're putting the valve core back in, airing the tire back up, and you're driving and you're on your way.
We've talked about how Tireject works around the bead, but how does it seal a big hole like we're talking about with a puncture?
So I mentioned that Tireject's made with that liquid rubber, and it also has those super strong aramid fibers. Well, those fibers will clot together and they'll seal in those larger punctures, and then the liquid rubber is actually what will permanently seal and bond to the rubber of the tire.
And we know Tireject can be used on passenger tires, but what other kinds of tires can we use it on?
We also have our off-road formula, and that can be used on ATVs, lawnmowers, wheelbarrows, anything that is off-road.
And quickly, is it safe for my tires?
Yeah, absolutely. The materials we use, they do not cause any kind of corrosion or any kind of rust issues on the tire. And the automotive formula is also designed to be TPMS safe, so you're not going to have any issues.
Well, you've seen it here. Tireject really works. Get yours at tireject.com. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coating, so do not touch that dial.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM radio since 1977. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. AllThingsUTV.com. Find the side-by-side and UTV replacement parts, tires, and accessories you need. And by Tribotex. Make your engine last longer.
Well, if you bought a motorcycle with a matte finish or a denim finish, you bought it because you like the way it looks. And when you put a product on it, you don't want to give it an artificial shine. Thankfully, the folks at The Last Coat have thought of that. You've got your TLC there, Nick.
Yes, we do.
What's it going to do for me as a motorcycle owner?
It's going to clean and protect this matte or denim finish that you have. It's not going to damage it or give that artificial shine. Obviously, you like the matte finish, so we don't want to make it shiny. We just want to clean and protect it. So we're going to do the same method as we're applying to a paint surface. We're going to spray it right onto our microfiber towel. And then we're going to just wipe right onto the actual denim here. We're going to go over the chrome. We even have some leather here. We're going to touch the leather. We're not going to do the seat because it's not a smart choice. You don't want to be slipping off your seat, right?
It's going to make it look great, but you won't be on the bike long enough to enjoy it.
Yes, going to look good, but yeah, it's not a smart thing. So we're now just going to take our dry microfiber towel here, and we're just going to buff off any residual residue that may be there.
And I noticed you went right over the chrome here.
Yep, went right over the chrome. So we're going to get some shiny chrome, but we're going to retain that denim finish that we like on the bike here.
We talked about the chrome and the leather and the denim. What other surfaces on the bike can we use The Last Coat?
So we can pretty much touch The Last Coat to anything on this bike. Most air-cooled Harleys have these cooling fins down here, and if you touch it with wax, it's going to turn white, and you're going to have a bad time removing it, if you can even remove it at all. So you don't have to worry about getting the Last Coat there. We can even clean our chrome pipes, and we aren't going to get a bluing effect as the pipe heats up. So these are just big pluses for a Harley owner.
And what about heat resistance of the product in general?
The Last Coat has a great heat resistance since it's ceramic based. So whatever heat comes out of these pipes, it's going to be able to defend it off.
How long is that going to last on the bike?
You're going to last 6 months with this product. And then if the bike gets a light dusting on it and you want to boost the TLC coating, we have another product here called AMP. And this is going to clean the bike and add a nice booster to your original coating.
Well, the products are great on every surface, and they're safe on every surface. So if you've got a bike, that's really important. Check them out at thelastcoat.com/Motorhead, and you will find a special deal for Motorhead Garage viewers. You know, you can test your product in the laboratory, you can test it on the streets, but if you really want to measure your product, go to Motorsports. Anything automotive, it's being pushed to the max there. Tribotex, Pasha, how is it being used in racing?
Tribotex transmission really shine in cutting-edge industrial and racing applications. We had Unlimited Hydroplane team reached out to us. You guys can do something with our gearbox. We use nice oil there, but it doesn't really last as long as we want. They used to travel with 6 gearboxes to every show so they can last through whole season. We instrumented one gearbox, treated with the Tribotex, and then we seen several things. One, the temperature went down, so less temperature, less friction, more power goes to the probe. Second thing, this gearbox outlasted everything else they had. The transmission lasted 3 times longer, and team won 2 championships and break the lake record.
The heat was going into that gearbox, but now you've been able to take that heat and turn it into raw energy. So how much horsepower are you giving them now that they didn't have before?
On every coupling, gears lose some energy, so when we're able to recover it back, it goes back to the prop. So on this particular gearbox, on 3,000 horsepower, we gained about 300 horsepower back to propel the hydroplane.
Unbelievable. And what kind of forces are we talking? You know, physically, 3,000 horsepower, and you're turning that screw.
It is a helicopter turbine coupled to the prop on little tiny boat to fly slightly above the water. We talk about a lot.
Well, if Tribotex can work at forces like that, it can certainly work in your car or your motorcycle. Give them a look. Check out Tribotex.com. Truly some cool technology behind Tribotex. And you know, we have stuff like that every week on our show. We bring you the coolest aftermarket products, the highest tech stuff for your ride. So check us out once again next week when we do it again. In the meantime, email Jeff@masterstv.com if you have something you'd like to see on our show. We'll see you next week right here on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. In the meantime, drive safely.